Now that I have your attention, I want to announce something. I finally have a PO box. Once a month I will do a live stream where I open it all, and that will also end up as a video on the channel. So send me everything you got at this address below my face, and let's overload my local postal service, because the PO box is tiny, so we can easily do that. In the world of Zelda, there's one relic that rules them all, a bit like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. In Hyrule, it's known as the mighty Triforce, made by the gods who created the world. However, unlike the items seen in Middle-earth, this one doesn't make sense all the time. Throughout the years, there have been a lot of moments where I would be researching a certain subject and stumble across stuff about the Triforce that doesn't make sense. So today we will look at this artifact and figure out what it really is and where things go wrong in the games. First up, what is it even? Well, it's a sacred golden relic left behind by the golden goddesses Din, Nehru, and Faeror, once they finished creating the realm, which came to be known as Hyrule. The Triforce was first protected by Hylia, and then guarded by the royal family of Hyrule, the Sages, and the Sheikah. It consists of 3 triangles, the Triforce of Power, Courage, and Wisdom. It has the ability to grant the wish of those who obtain it, regardless of whether the person's intentions are good or evil. Although the Triforce was created by gods, it can never really be used by one, possibly the goddess's way of giving hope to all the mortal beings in Hyrule, and the wishes made with it will hold true until the user of the Triforce dies. Besides that, this item can also change the appearance of the sacred realm to reflect the heart of the person who enters it. So now we know what the general idea of this powerful item is, but there are some things seen in the series that just don't make sense. Let's start by looking at the very beginning of the Legend of Zelda history, Skyward Sword. Here, a demon lord Demise tried to take the Triforce for himself. He gathered an army of monsters and together launched an attack against the people of the surface, murdering them and causing misfortunes, all just to get their hands on it. However, here is the weird bit. Like I mentioned before, gods or deities can't really use the Triforce for themselves. However, Demise seems to be some sort of evil god as far as we know. He's extremely powerful and can't really be killed for good after all, like you can do with a mortal. Besides that, when Ganondorf does get the Triforce of Power and turns into basically his Demon King form, he's labeled as a god. So it seems like gods can actually use this artifact. However, there's a lot more about this major plot point in the Zelda series that doesn't make sense. For example, a lot of things seen in the Link Between Worlds don't really make sense when thinking about it outside of the context of that game. In this game, we have seen a dimension known as Lorule that is very similar to Hyrule. And here, they also have a Triforce. Well, had a Triforce. According to their princess, it possessed its own version of the Sacred Realm and its own incarnation of the Triforce. But just like in Hyrule, they started to fight over it, and so to end the conflict, they decided to destroy their Triforce rather than seal it away. However, without it, the land slowly began to crumble. But there's one major problem with this. The Triforce is the most powerful item in the entire world. The only thing that can beat it is the goddesses themselves. So now my question is, how, in Hylia's name, did the people of Lorule destroy the Triforce? It's the most powerful thing in the world, and I bet the goddesses didn't do it for them, since it would destroy the world. The only thing I can really think of is that they ended up using the complete Triforce to wish for its destruction. However, I'm not sure if that's even possible. Another thing similar to this seen in Hyrule was the splitting of Triforce pieces, which basically made it useless. Now, doesn't this also affect the balance of Hyrule? Wouldn't it make the entire world unstable? Since we know it keeps it all together since we saw that in Lorule, it shouldn't really be possible even, since the Triforce is so incredibly powerful. But now that I mentioned that, there are also some moments in the history of the franchise where its power seems limited. Let's look at 2 examples of this seen in A Link to the Past, which came out in the 90s for the SNES. because in this game's introduction story, they tell some interesting things that don't make sense when you think about it. Apparently, a band of thieves led by Ganondorf found the Triforce, and in time, dark power began to flow forth from the sacred realm. As a result, the King of Hyrule ordered the 7 sages to seal the entrance to the sacred realm. In the end, they were able to cast their seal, stopping the flow of darkness and trapping the evil King Ganon within, and this battle became known as the Imprisoning War. Now, this sounds epic and all, but probably wouldn't work if the Triforce itself was really that powerful. You got to remember, after all, it's stated and mentioned time and time again that this is the strongest thing in the Zelda universe and nothing can rival it. So how could Ganon, with the entire Triforce, ever lose this battle? He should have destroyed everything in his path and the spell should have been easily breakable for him. Remember, we're not talking about just Ganondorf with the Triforce of Power. Oh no, he has all of them. The only thing that should be able to stop him is the Golden Goddesses. Everything else doesn't stand a chance. And later on in this game, we yet again see something that shouldn't really happen. At the end of this game, you travel to a place called the Pyramid of Power, where you and Ganon face off. With the power of the Silver Arrows and the Master Sword, Link vanquishes Ganon and recovers the Triforce. And by making a wish, reverts the effects of Ganon's evil reign over Hyrule and restores the lands to its former glory. But yet again, Ganon has all the pieces, and Link had none at all. So he should have actually lost this fight if the lore surrounding the Triforce made sense at all. But for some reason, a lot of facts and statements don't make sense in certain scenarios seen in the game. Now, this is probably because of the story and gameplay. A lot of games wouldn't really make sense anymore, or function properly. So I bet that's the reason why Nintendo ignores this. And there are probably way more instances of something happening with the Triforce that doesn't make sense at all. But I'm not surprised, really. We've seen time and time again that a lot of the timeline-related lore also doesn't make sense. And there were even some new Zelda books stating that Termina from Zelda Majora's Mask is actually a dream world all in Skull Kid's head. And yes, Nintendo did give final approval on that. So in general, Zelda lore can be complete BS. And this is also the case with our beloved Triforce. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more videos, be sure to click the annotation on the screen right now. And also be sure to subscribe and click the bell button. More content is coming.